Hey, good morning. Get your coffee. Daily dose. Good morning. We're going to look at a day in the life. What does it really look like? That's what we're talking about today. This is episode 109 of the Daily Dose. And good morning from the backyard. My name is Mark Avens. I'm the creator of the Lean Body Breakthrough, a coaching program, online coaching program designed specifically for busy moms and dads who are struggling. There's a lot of people struggling for a lot of different reasons, but I know there's also a lot of struggle in people out there who are trying to get their weight off and trying to do it a lot of different ways and really struggling. And my coaching program is designed specifically for busy moms and dads over 40 who want to lose the weight and want to learn not just how to lose the weight, but to keep it off for good. That's kind of like my hopes, is to have people on board who are wanting to learn how to keep off that weight, get the weight off, keep it off, and do so without long workouts and impossible diets, because I don't know about you, but impossible diets are exactly that, impossible, and long workouts just pretty much suck. So that's where we're at. And we're going to talk about today, what is a day in the life? Let's talk about hopefully something that doesn't suck, and that's a day in your life. And I want to share really just, it made me think. I got encouraged this morning when I woke up, and I was just thinking about just reflecting on like having gratitude and thinking about that. And we, by the way, do gratitude on Saturdays as we just do a kind of an overview of the week and what we talked about, but then also we express our gratitude. And I typically have one thing that's like just focused on for gratitude. We had Father's Day, my son's birthday, and different things like that. And my people that are watching, and my clients and my wife and all those things. And I want to just share with you is that sometimes it helps with gratitude to understand, like, oh my goodness, there's a lot of great things. There's a lot of things that could pull you down and maybe be like hooks and try to pull you under or weigh you down like an anchor, if you will, and not in a good way. But I just really wanted to talk today about what does a day in your life look like? So this could be a moment while you're listening to me talk, is to think about, what does it look like? And maybe it kind of sucks right now. Maybe your day is not what you had anticipated. Maybe the new year, you talked about getting your body back and yourself, this was going to be your year for change, right? Your year to make 2020. Like, there's just something about that number. 2020 is going to be my year. I turned 50 this year, or I turned 40 this year, or, here, this is going to be the stepping stone. Like, this is going to launch me off. And I feel like there's some things that we've been launched into in 2020. But with that, and while all the other things, there's a lot of things we just can't control, but like we talked about yesterday, controlling the mind and how we control and focus, we can control what we focus on. Today I want you to focus on, as we kind of move into that next stage, and it being Thursday already, I don't even know, half the month of July is gone. But my question to you is, how do you spend the day in your life, like an average day in your life? What time do you get up? This would be a great time. Maybe you have a little extra free time, and maybe your life is really busy, and maybe even though it might be really, really busy, it could be a perfect time to actually map out what happens in the beginning of your day and all the way through your day by just simply doing a little journal, just writing down like early morning, blah, blah, blah. So I was doing that this morning, and I said, that's what I'm going to share. I got encouraged and I'm inspired to share with you a day in the life. It's not bragging, just sharing with you. And more so if you're looking to pursue a healthy life. Because as a health and fitness coach, you're probably thinking, well, he probably pursues a fairly healthy, fit life, right? That's something, and I like to say that it's not perfect. There's nothing perfect, right, about it. I would just say it has worked for me. And I've been able to not maintain, I would say I've been able to continue to pursue a healthy life, because it is something that you have to continue to pursue. There's no maintenance in health. I hear this all the time again. And I'm not going to go on a rant, but don't tell me when we're talking, please don't tell me I'm just maintaining. I'm just maintaining. No, you're not, because you're not at a standstill. Life is still moving on. You're still getting older. You still have, maybe less hair on your head or no hair on your head. You still have your eyes that are getting bad, your joints that are getting weaker. Time is going by. And I would say that's not maintenance. There's no maintenance. You're not like a stone that there's no movement. You see, like this, a stone can maintain itself here, right? Just by being a stone. I just dropped it. But that's a stone, right? And that's not doing anything. Nothing's moving. It's going to stay the same. It's pretty much finite, right? But you, on the other hand, are not. There's no maintenance. It's about if you're either pursuing your health or you're not, right? So what is a day in the life? Let's get into it. So a day in for my life, what it looks like, I get up early. I'm an early bird. You don't have to be one, but for me, I find I have my focus. And in that time, When I have my focus, I get up, I have my coffee. In fact, I didn't drink much of it yet. I usually am already down here. But 4:30, my wife is awesome. She has coffee ready. She makes it. It actually gets set up, but she does it the night before. It's already made. I get up at 4:30. She does as well. I pour my coffee, and I have my quiet time. 4:30 to 5. For 4:30 is my wake up time. I say about 4:15, 4:30. 4:30 to 5, I get going, get my coffee, have my quiet time. Kind of works between 4:30 and 5, sometimes 5:30. Today it went a little bit longer. And then between 5 and 5:30, sometimes a little longer, usually within 20-minute intervals, 20 to 30-minute intervals. And then I have, from my quiet time, I get into like looking at what I have for the day. I take a look at, hey, here's this. I have a call, have this, got to check in, do my daily dose, that sort of stuff. And that's till about 5:30. And then from 5:30 to 6:30, I have my deep work. I get into my own work where actually, man, this is quiet. My wife's up, but she's doing her thing, and it's quiet. There's no distractions. I try not to get on social media or my emails. Sometimes I get in trouble and do that, and then I lose my deep work time. And then 6:30, if I've done a video, I take my walk. So I take a break after that time. I go for a walk with the dog. He needs his walk, and I need to see that sunrise because it's a part of my day, who I am. Come back, 6:37. Sometimes I'll do a video, do a little bit of work while I'm doing that, come back, get ready for the daily dose, 8 o'clock. And I'm not going to go through the whole day because it'd take forever. But essentially from that morning time, it really sets me up for success. And I get a lot done in that time, because what I don't want to be doing is working the late evenings when it's time to be around my family. My wife gets home from work. So during the day, then after the morning, then I typically have my regular business stuff. I have to take care of my coaching clients, and I have calls, and I have to do some marketing, right? I have to do some videos. I'll check in, do workout stuff. And then yes, that's part of it. Midday, I get my workout in. So I make sure, typically it's around noon. So I like to take a break after that mid-morning, take another break, kind of as a reward, go get my workout in, get some obviously fuel during that time, and then breakfast as well fits in there. And then in the afternoon, and then I'll have follow-up. And then about 4 or 5 o'clock, I think about dinner. Last night I grilled, and we grilled out. My wife is home, talked about her day. We had some family time. Teenagers don't really want to be around, so it's not like we're having like awesome family time, like when your kids kind of depend on you for everything and it's struggling, but they're all together. It's like, enjoy those moments, because soon enough your kids are not going to want to be hanging around you as much, and they sometimes have no choice, like right now in this kind of lockdown. But then from there, and then we like to go, if it's not too hot, we'll go for a bike ride in the evening. We went for a bike ride last night. It was beautiful. That's a day in the life, right? And have my quiet time. I finish up, maybe do some reading. I have a good book. I'm reading Bob Goff's Dream Big, I believe it's called, Dream Big. Getting into that, almost done with it. It's a great book, by the way. And then that's pretty much a day in my life. And I was thinking about it, and I was so grateful, because you notice some of the things, like I can say, yeah, I probably dabble a little because I'm on Facebook a lot with just peeking at some of the stuff that's coming through my feed, but I don't watch the news. I haven't actually put the news on. We don't even have cable. So the only kind of news that I'll see kind of scroll through every once in a while is what somebody posts on like their, and again, social media feed. Who knows, whatever anything is there to believe anymore with any of that. So there's no news on, again. So I know there's certain things like, oh, you're not aware of what's going on. It's craziness and all the numbers and all those things. I hear it from just conversations I have with people, and I see a little bit through Facebook. But there's a lot of those things I just can't control. But I know I can control my day, like we talked about the other day, and that's what I want to focus on. So my question is to you, what does a day in your life look like? And I would say it'd be a great time to do a little inventory check and actually just to write it out. It's really kind of old school. Like, I'm old school. It's so funny. I told my wife I'm becoming more and more like my dad every day. More and more like my dad, who's a bit of not a hermit, I would say, but he's not one to be around a lot of people. I enjoy people. I'm actually more of an extrovert, but I can see now over time is like he's just simplified. He has his daily routine. He does his thing. And he's really healthy, and he's doing well with that. And we're totally different types of people, but I would say there's something to that. So I think he's rubbing off on me more than I anticipated. Maybe that's the same for you and your family, and maybe your parents, the way they helped shape you as you were younger. And maybe it's good, maybe it's not so good. Maybe you had to change kind of some of your ways so that you can help the next generation down in lines with your family and your kids and so forth. But most important thing is the question really why I ask is like, what does a day in the life, like a healthy life of yours, look like? And do an inventory, check. Are you like getting up first thing in the morning, watching the news, drinking coffee, watching the news? Are you scrolling through and just looking at what everything else is going on in everybody else's world and everybody else's life, what everybody else is doing, like comparing yourself, getting frustrated, maybe your work sucks right now, maybe you're thinking about kids, going back to school, not going back to school, I get it, like those are things, but is that like the whole focus? And I would say what happens is, and I catch myself, don't get me wrong, because I'm not perfect, I catch myself because I start to get those little distractions, and then the next thing you know, my day is shot, and then I was like, dang. And I know when I have my best days is when I have the most focus. And when I have the most focus, it's typically because I know kind of what's going on. It is not being like OCD, anal retentive about it, that kind of thing. It's just to have that kind of structure in your day. Because if you can focus on the things that you know you can actually keep pursuing, and I have business goals, I have relationship goals, I have family goals, I have things in a vision for my life, and it's hard to have clarity in that vision when everything's trying to get in. So I guess really this is more or less kind of a carryover from yesterday about what you're focused on, and what you focus on matters. It truly does matter, and you have control over that focus. But it's hard to focus on your day if you don't know what your day is like, and you don't have any kind of structure, and you don't have any kind of plan, and you're just kind of throwing it out to the wind, if that makes sense. So my encouragement, this isn't encouraging, right? The Daily Dose is purely 109 episodes ago. I started this Daily Dose when we came in lockdown and things had to switch. My life too. Kids are home from school. Wife got called home from work. Then she was off work. And then, I had to adjust and shift for my students in my Lean Body Breakthrough Coaching Program, even though it's online and even though most of them weren't affected. In fact, I don't know if you've been seeing, I got another couple of coming, is that my students are crushing. Sorry, there's a lizard going by. It's a big one too. That my students are crushing their goals. They're crushing, following the plan, doing what they need to do, checking in, asking their coach, having that kind of accountability has been very valuable. So they didn't put on any COVID weight. In fact, a lot of them are losing the COVID-19 and 20 pounds the last 2 or 3, 4 months, where people have come into my premium coaching program are getting spectacular results. And you know what? They're able to do that because they have a mapped out plan for them, which includes understanding what their day is like. Because I asked them, well, when are you going to work out? How are you going to get this in? When are you going to cook? Oh, I don't have a lot of time. And time is typically one of the biggest biggest things that I hear people saying, no, I just don't have time for a coach or training or workouts. You do, trust me. I guarantee you I can find at least an hour in your day, and you're like, oh no, there's no way. I guarantee you want to put me up to the challenge, hop on a call and we'll talk about it. But I can guarantee you, I can not only find you an hour, I could probably save you at least 6 to 10 hours a week in your week, 6 to 10 hours by just taking a look at how you're spending your time in your day, right? And you're like, oh no, all right, bring it on. Trust me, I have to. In other words, for my program to work, people have to actually get some time back. And to buy back time is to find out how you're spending it currently. Now, I know if you're spending watching this 10, 15, 20 minutes, like, I just can't be watching Mark, a Daily Dose, 8 a.m., it's 20 minutes long, and that's killing my day. Well, maybe it's inspiring you to do something. And I would actually prefer, if this inspires you to get up from where you're doing and where you're stuck and actually pulling the trigger and hiring a coach, looking in maybe my program or maybe somebody else's, and you're doing that versus not just watching my stuff, is scrolling through and looking at everybody else. Next thing you know, 2 hours are gone, right? And that's not necessarily a healthy day. It's not going to produce any kind of fruit for you or your life. So is the day in my life, or my, if you will, a fairly healthy life perfect? Absolutely not. But I'll tell you what, it's going in the right direction, because I see so many people, and it's sad to see, and I want this to be an encouragement, is that there's a whole lot of time being wasted worrying about what other people think, what other people say, what other people are doing, what you should do, shouldn't do, what the government's saying to do, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, let's argue with this. You're not changing people's minds, just like I won't be able to change my father's mind from his lifelong. You're not going to be able to change my mind and my own opinions, but also I'm not going to try to push my opinions on you. I will, however, as far as one opinion is, and I think this should be just standard, is that, and I say I'll go to the grave with this because it's been my lifelong passion, is helping people make the best and the best choices for their health and for their life. It is your life, absolutely, and you can choose to treat it like crap or not. You can choose to eat like SHIT. Oh, I'm so upset, I apologize. You can choose to eat like SHIT. You can choose to sit on the couch and not do anything. You can choose to be lazy. choose to get unhealthy. You can choose to rely on your healthcare insurance of the damage you did to yourself over the last maybe 5, 10, or 20 years. You can choose to do that. It's not really a wise choice, though. Even if you have the best, we have the best. My wife works at Mayo Clinic. We have some of the best health insurance that there is available, right? We have everything. It's awesome. Too bad we didn't have that when all our kids were going through all this stuff. But we have some awesome healthcare insurance. But do I want to just say, I'll just let my health insurance just take care of me? That's not how healthcare works. That's just not how it works. If you're significantly overweight and you're thinking about a lap band surgery and you say, oh, well, my insurance will cover that, do you think it's going to make you healthier? It might get the weight off, but it isn't a solution. I can tell you that. In fact, my wife works in GI, and she can tell you herself how many patients have gut issues and gastric issues and all that stuff, bowel issues when they have those types of surgery. Yes, you maybe let yourself go, and yes, there may be 100, 150, maybe even more pounds of weight on your body. And I'm not saying this to one particular person, but if this is somebody like you, or somebody that maybe had that, and like, oh, well, that's so amazing, they look so fantastic, that's great and all. But I would say is you still have to pursue your health. You still have to continue. Again, like I said in the beginning of this, there's no maintenance with your health. There's no maintenance with your weight. It's not a maintenance. You're either pursuing being healthy or you're not. Even if you're doing the smallest baby steps, because I have some people who are come in and their starting point is so far at the ground zero. Little baby steps. It isn't like, oh, I lost 50 pounds in 4 days, and I did this appetite suppressant, and I did this keto, and I lost that. And we praise and praise and praise people with all that success. And don't get me wrong, I know people do when they see my testimonies. It's awesome. But I would say, how about the person that lost the weight and worked hard at it and developed a new lifestyle, and their whole family is healthier, and they've been able to keep the weight off for 5, 10 years? Like, that's success. Sustainable success is success. Sustainable weight loss is success. A diet that helps you lose weight is not necessarily success. Success is actually keeping the weight off for good, forever, never being on a diet again. So if you've been on a diet, let's just say, a day in your life looks like, okay, I'm going to restrict myself with calories, I'm going to sleep in, and then I'm going to kind of rush around. Tell me if this sounds like you. We're going to go through a day in the life of somebody who maybe is struggling and stuck right now. And this is just because I've heard this over time. And this may sound like you. You get out of bed, you hit the snooze button, you hate your job, kind of sucks. Like they cut your pay, maybe they cut this. You really didn't like what you're doing anyway, but it is a paycheck and it's paying the bills. Get it. You're up, you stayed up way too late, so then you kind of slept in a little bit, and then you're running out the door, and then well, I got to do this, like, I'm going to do this shake, and I'm going to drink it out the door, the shake that I bought from my friend who said it's going to help me lose weight. And then you do that, and then you run out the door, you're stressed out of your mind, you're in traffic, you got to get to work, and then you got to put your mask on, and then you got to stop and get gas and all this stuff, and then time is wasted, and then you get to work, and then you're just like, this sucks, I hate this freaking job, it sucks. So you're kind of disappointed, and then you're like, oh, well, let me go on social media, and then you look at all the people complaining and angry and bitter and moaning and all that stuff. And then you're like, oh, man, this world is just coming to an end so quickly. And then, lunchtime, and you're like, oh, well, now I didn't do my work, so I forgot my lunch today. And, oh, man, I'm just going to have to go through the drive-through. That's to Wendy's or Chick-fil-A or one of those things. I'm just going to throw down some fries. And you know what, man, that milkshake, it's a hot day today. I'm going to just suck down a milkshake. That's going to be awesome. And I'll just suck that down. And it tasted so good, and I smell, when I went through the drive-thru, it just smelled so good, and I got the extra Chick-fil-A sauce. Tell me, does this not sound familiar? Then, I sucked down that shake, and it was like, oh, so good. And then as soon as you get back to the office, you feel so bad about yourself. You feel so disappointed because you made the effort to drink that shake that was going to help you lose weight, but then you kind of were stressed out, and you didn't have any structure or any plan. You didn't bring any lunch. The next thing you know, you go through the drive-thru. You spend $15, $10 or $15, so you're spending money. And then money that you maybe want to save for something else, and that they do there. You're like, oh, and then you're disappointed because you know you can actually make a cheaper lunch, a healthier lunch, and then just bring it. But because you slept in and you stayed up late the night before, and you were watching the news, and you were sitting on Netflix and watching some reruns or watching the next episode, Next thing you know, lunch is done, and then you're like, oh, I still have the afternoon. And then you feel really not just crappy, now you feel like your energy levels are low because you didn't exercise in the morning. And even though your best effort was because you have your gym clothes, all right, I'm going to go before work, but because you were late and getting up, there's no workout time there. Like, well, I'll go on my way home from work. So you got your workout clothes in your bag, gym clothes. You say, well, I'll just take them to work and I'll hit that gym on the way home. And I haven't forgot my mask, so I'll do that. And then you're on your way home and you're like, man, it's hot, there's traffic. Today sucked. I ate crappy. I feel terrible about myself. Why should I even bother going to the gym? Like, is it even going to make a difference? So then you just bypass the gym, you come home, and then you forget that the refrigerator's empty, so you have no food for dinner, and your kids, like, they're hungry, and they're asking, what's for dinner, and then your spouse comes home from work, and next thing you know, like, oh, well, why don't we just go out? It's just going to be easier. And then you spend, for the family of four, you spend $75, $100 going out to dinner, and this isn't even like a high end, it's just going out, because it's last minute and you want to be nice and you tip, and then you're like, come home and tasted really good and delicious, and you feel like you earned it because you had such a rough day, and you came home and you're like, you know what, I know I only had this one glass, and it's like, well, I just might as well crack open another bottle of wine, let's have that, finish it off. And next thing you know, you end up on the couch watching some more shows, kids are bed, you're hanging out, you're kind of like just thinking about the day, and although the wine tastes good, the whole day sucked. Like, that's kind of at that. And trust me, I'm not pointing one person out. This happens a lot, or a variation of that. And then next thing you know, you're just kind of, you're at the bottom of the pit, and you're thinking, how the heck am I going to ever get out of this? Because I can't change my job. I can't do this. I don't have the time. Mark, you're telling me I have the time. I don't have the time. You do. In that little conversation, I can tell you, I probably could find in that conversation probably a good 3 hours. And that means you could get your workouts in, which you really only need more than 20 or 30 minutes to work out. You can have meals prepped. You can have your lunch set up for success. You can have the accountability in place. And that's essentially what I do when I help people in my program, is to help people realize that it doesn't have to be super crazy, super, intense. You don't have to do any kind of extreme dieting. And actually, when you start to do the right things, you start to feel better about yourself. You start to make better efforts in your days, and how you end them, how you start them, how you plan them, and how you can become even healthier than even you ever expected by just having the right kind of structure in your day. So I always ask, like, what does a day in the life look like? Maybe today is a day that you actually do a little evaluation on your life and on your day. And maybe you're like, I don't even know because my job throws me. Oh, okay, well, we'll put that in. Well, I don't really know how to schedule. But you probably can put when you go to bed at night. You can probably put when you get up in the morning. You probably can put that you typically will eat 3 meals a day, what those meals will look like, how you're going to exercise, when you're going to exercise, a backup plan if that plan didn't work out for your exercise. And then, of course, knowing what to do is going to be helpful as well. Well, I got to lose 50 or I have to lose 100 pounds. Well, I'm telling you this, you don't have to go lifting 100 pounds over your head to lose 100 pounds that's sitting around your waist. Go for a walk. Straightforward, go for a walk. Well, it's really hot out now. Okay, go for a short walk. Come back, get in the air condition. Go back for another one. Come back, go for a 5-minute walk at lunchtime. Go walk around your office building. Oh, well, it's really, really hot out. Okay, well, go up and down the stairs. It's not that hard when you actually have the right focus in the right direction. So the day in a healthy life, whatever it looks like for you, if you're struggling, you're stuck, reach out, send me a message. Literally, you could send me a private message. I could send you a link. We can get on a call, 10, 15-minute call. We can see if we'd be a good fit to work together. And if not, that's cool. I could at least give you some helpful tips based on where you're at and what you're trying to achieve in the direction that you want to go. And if it looks like you'd be a good fit, you can ask me questions about my coaching program. But I will say this is I'm not the right fit for a lot of people, and I'm figuring that out because we're doing a lot of calls and reaching out and people. And I would say is a couple things just to share with you who I'm not a good fit for. People who are not serious. Like, I'm not the right fit for someone who is not serious. You just need to lose a couple of pounds. Don't even waste your time, or honestly my time, just jumping on a call. Don't waste it. If you're really not serious, if you're just like, I put on COVID-19, but I got to get it off as quick as I can. Okay, and I'm just going to starve myself, or I'm just going to do some HCG, that kind of stuff, or I'm just going to go back on keto. Here's the thing. When you're saying that you're going to go back on something, just so you know, regardless of what kind of diet it was, if you're going to go back on something because it worked before, it didn't work. It didn't work. if you're going to go back to something that didn't work, and here's why, because it didn't keep the weight off. You see, because I talk about sustainable weight loss. Do you want to lose weight and then just come back into maybe another lockdown some of the time, put the weight back on, and then have to go back on that diet? Do you know the damage you're doing in the inside of your body? Not just to mention what it looks like on the outside, the inside of your body. If you're going on this roller coaster ride of get on a diet, lose the weight, get off the diet, gain the weight, get on a diet, lose the weight, get off the diet, put on the weight, maybe a little exercise, work out real hard, take off the weight, stop exercising, put on the weight, work out real hard, take off the weight. Does that sound familiar too? Here's the thing, it's not sustainable. It's why your diet didn't work, whether, I don't even care what kind of diet it was. It didn't work. The only thing that works is to actually work towards no maintenance. Don't get to a weight loss and get to maintenance, is to get to a point where you're just pursuing health. You're pursuing health. It really comes down to simple. You're pursuing exercise. Pursuing it. I didn't say being crazy woman, doing hours and hours of cardio or, crazy, 2-hour boot camps or anything like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about just taking steps, sometimes baby steps. When you start to take baby steps, you can take bigger steps, you can get in better shape, and you start doing bigger things, better things, if you so choose, or if you're not. But there's no maintenance. That's all I got from the Daily Dose. I hope if you are encouraged by this message, you'll share it with somebody. And the other thing is, if you haven't really took an inventory of what your day looks like, today could be the perfect time to do that. Today could be the day, especially if now, 8:30? It is 8:30 in the morning, and you're thinking to yourself, I've been getting up late, I've been feeling sluggish, I run out the door. Just what he's saying, you're speaking exactly to me. If I'm speaking to you and you listen to this whole message and I'm speaking to you, the alternative is to continue doing what you're doing, continue to get stuck, and continue to go downhill. Because when you continue to be stuck, sooner or later, you're going to just keep going downhill. It's not that you're going to be stuck, it's that the stickiness or the anchor is going to pull you down even more into a lower pit, whatever that pit may be for you. So I can say is your option is to do that. Go on another quick fix. Go ahead, have at it. Talk to me in a year. Tell me, go on one of those quick fixes. Go do one of those. Those like short-term appetite suppressant sprays, pills, potions, magic wands. Say, hey, you'll lose this in this amount of time. Cookie diets, keto diets. Atkins, do the Whole30s, all those things, right? Oh, those all worked for me. They didn't. If you're thinking about doing the diet again, it didn't work. If you're thinking about doing that diet again, it didn't work. It worked, Mark, to take the weight loss. Yes, but it didn't change your life. If you want life change, you have to be willing to do the changes you need, not just the quick fix. That's all I got. I could probably talk about this forever. 8:30, 30 minutes. I don't know where time goes. I appreciate you watching. If you spent this much time, I know I ramble on, but I'm so passionate about this. It's the one thing that I've been one big thing my entire life. I would say pursuing my faith for the past 10 years is the most important thing in my life. But I would say the longest period of time in my life frame that I've actually pursued this health and fitness direction for my own personal life as well. In fact, it's going to be awesome to share with you my transformation journey that I'm doing right now. And it's still a little bit of a secret, but I'm going to be sharing that with you in due time because I'm setting some lofty goals for my personal health journey. Because again, it's not about maintaining, because to be honest with you, I was maintaining a little bit for a while, and maintaining wasn't very fun. So I know there's another level, and I don't know if you know what that level is for you, but if you need someone in your life to help find that level for you and start working towards that, reach out to me, send me a message. We'll see if we're a good fit to work together. Take care. God bless. Sun's out. Put some sunscreen on. Have a great day. We'll see you.